Greetings, 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 and salutations, one and all. How you doing? Special big ups to each and everyone on this Valentine's night. Yeah. Well, with some people, depending on where you are in the world, it's no longer Valentine's, but guess what? Where I am, I'm closing it out. Kicking off things with the sound of SHD. The one and only recording they ever did together. This is a little combo group, a little combo band that used to do some things back in the day. You had yours truly on drums, the S, Kevin Steele, H, Devon Hines, D, the guy by the name of Mike Davis. This was a tribute to my mother, recorded 13 years ago. 13 years ago on this day my mother transitioned, which I believe to this day was the single most demonstration of love I have ever experienced in my life. After 15 years since diagnosis of multiple myeloma, my mother was called home by the Creator on February 14, 13 years ago today. I remember I was setting up to play drums. It was church in the park for this church that I was playing for. The guy on keys on this recording, he was the music director at that church. I got the call from my sister who was with my mother in Jamaica at the time. She said Mommy went to go lay down. And she went to check on her and she was gone. Devon knew my mother was sick. I went over to Devon and I said, hey, yo, brethren, she gone, you know. And all he did was hugged me. Yeah, that's a demonstration of love too. This track, this song here, Sweet Hour of Prayer, was one of my mother's favorites. So it was only fitting that we did this as a tribute to her. I remember we went to go do the recording and they said, okay, what we're gonna do? And I was like, I don't know. And then I said, okay, well, let's do Sweet Hour of Prayer. And they said, how we're gonna do it? I said, just start playing. We recorded it in the studio, the garage studio, of a long-time friend of the family. He hit record and we started. And this is the end result. One take. Sweet Hour of Prayer. Officially, I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good day to you. Greetings and salutations to each and every one. Those locked in on TuneIn Radio on the night shift with DJ Kevin Steele. Big ups to you. Those hailing from across the pond, the One Harmony Radio. Top of the morning to you guys over there in the UK. Much love being extended to those in New Jersey, NIE Radio. The motivator, big up your status. Big ups to my friends over there in New York. Island worldwide. China Nicole, it was such a pleasure having you on Saturday evening as my secret ingredient. Big ups, Gary. Keep on doing what you're doing, bro. Much love to the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com. Veteran in the business. Big ups to those out of Texas. All-Wap Radio, Dusik Media Group. And of course, WGLRO, the People Station. Taking you from the sheets to the streets with the Donny Walker Morning Show. Touching from Detroit to Denmark and all points in between. Big ups to those on PEMGTV.com. Those on Facebook Live, much love to you. And of course, those locked in at the home of the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew, kevinstew.com. So glad to have you. Couldn't do it without you. And you have my word, I wouldn't even try. Invite you to call a friend, tell a friend, friends of your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends, and your enemies too. Because we're not leaving anybody out. We're loving that way. Big ups to those on Clubhouse. Yeah, we're on Clubhouse too. The club is called the Stew Pot. So if you want to tune in on Clubhouse, you can do so. But remember, it's only a segment. Everything happens on kevinstew.com and you're invited to jump into the Stew Pot. It's what others call a chat room, because we're fancy over here on the Stew Pot on kevinstew.com. We call it the Stew Pot, where we keep things interactive and bubbling. I want to say thank you to my segment sponsors. Pulse Media Group. When being in a moment, it's priceless. Give them a call. They do everything you see here on kevinstew.com and more. They host kevinstew.com on their server. Yep. So that's the more. But if you have an event that you want to stream live on a secure platform, whether it's yours or theirs, they have a solution for you. Whether it's a church service, a wedding, a funeral, a seminar, a party, graduation, you name it. Give them a call, 754-999-1140. Tell them DJ Kevin Stew sent you. Thank you, Pulse Media Group. Thank you to Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands. Althea is a licensed massage therapist operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade, and South Palm Beach counties. She comes to you bringing her table, her oils, and over 20 years massage therapy experience. Call her up 954-655-9000 and make your appointment today. That's 954-655-9000. She only has one request outside of paying her. Get off her table and go sleep somewhere else. Thank you to ReggaeGlobal.com. Reggae Global Entertainment. Reggae Global will act as your booking agents, handle your tour management, take care of your websites. Yeah, they build those too. Handle your press releases, business registration, legal services and referrals, music production, marketing and promotion, and so much more. Check them out, reggaeglobal.com. Tell them DJ Kevin Stew sent you. Thank you to McNeil Trucking. McNeil Trucking, they're licensed and insured movers. You want to move from here to go there? Call them up and say, hey, Stu said you can take care of this. Here's what I have. Here's where I'm going. Here's where I'm leaving from. What can you do for me? What's the number you ask? 954 406 9740. That's 954 406 9740. With McNeil Trucking, you're in good hands. Once again, the sound of SHD, or rendition of Sweet Hour of Prayer. Yeah, if you missed it at the beginning, Kevin Stew on drums, Devon Hines on keys and organ, Mike Davis on bass. Recorded in the Irie Production Studios for my mother's transition 13 years ago today. So you might be wondering, okay, it can't just be because of my mother's transition why I'm starting off with this. Well, actually, it could be because it's my broadcast and I can do that. But it isn't. And I also want to give you the opportunity to call in if you want to participate in tonight's broadcast. Number scrolling across the bottom of your screen for those of you that are listening and not watching. It's 773-789-STEW. You can call, text, WhatsApp, Telegram from anywhere in the world. 773-789-7839. Once more, 773-789-7839. The topic tonight, we're looking at the cost of dying. And, you know, you kind of always focus on the cost of living and not so much on the cost of dying until you're hit with the expense of someone passing. You ever notice that? And I don't think it's unusual that happens, because we don't typically walk around thinking of someone transitioning. That's not our first thought ever. But it's a part of life, right? If there's one thing that you're guaranteed to do, it's die. Now, according to NFDA.org, that's the National Funeral Directors Association, they did a news release back in November of 2021. And it says, while the prices for many goods and services are increasing rapidly, the cost of a funeral is not growing as fast as the rate of inflation. Well, if there's anything to be grateful for, I think that would fall under something to be grateful for. Now, according to the 2021 National Funeral Directors Association Member General Price List Study, the median cost of a funeral has increased only 6.6% over the past 5 years to $7,848, and the median cost of a funeral with cremation has increased 11.3% over the past 5 years to $6,970. The overall rate of inflation was 13.98% for the same period. Funeral homes offer a wide variety of options to meet financial needs and wishes. The primary role of funeral directors remains helping families understand the many options available to help them in order to commemorate the life of their loved one in a meaningful way. This said NFDA Research Manager Deanna Gillespie. Every funeral home offers a unique service and pricing structure. Families should look for a funeral home that has a strong reputation with licensed funeral directors and understand their emotional needs and will be sensitive to their budget. So, there are some places that have funeral directors or claim that they have funeral directors, but those funeral directors are not licensed. So it's important that it's a licensed funeral director because apparently that makes quite a difference. Now, since the 1960s, NFDA has calculated the national median cost of a funeral with burial by totaling the cost of some items. Those would be the basic services fee, removal, transfer of remains to funeral home, embalming, and other preparation of the body, the casketing, the cosmetology, the dressing, the grooming, all these. A metal casket, use of facilities and staff for viewing and funeral ceremony, use of a hearse, use of a service car or van, and a basic memorial printed package like memorial cards or a register book, things along that line. The cost does not take into account the cemetery. It doesn't take into account the monument or marker costs or miscellaneous cash advance charges, things like for things like flowers or an obituary. So they have a chart, and on this chart you see your non-declinable basic service fee, which is $2,300 in 2021. Back in 2016, it was $2,100. So I'm basically going to show the changes between 2021 and 2016 for the cost of a death. Right? So you have $2,300 for your non-declinable basic services. And you have removal, transfer of remains to the funeral home for $350. Back in 2016, it was $325. Then you have embalming at $775. You have other preps of the body for $275. Use of facilities being $450, and that's for the viewing. And then you have the use of the facilities and staff for the funeral ceremony itself, which is $515. You have the hearse at $325, a service car or a van at $150. The price for that didn't change at all. That remained $150 from 2016 to 2021. You have printed materials that were at $183. A metal burial casket at $2,500. That went up only $100 on average from 2016. Then you have the median cost of a funeral with viewing and burial, totaling $7,848, which back in 2016 was $7,360. Not much of a difference. Then you have your vault cost when you to add that in. If you have a vault, you're looking at $1,572. So your total in November 2021, based on the research that was done, you're looking at, with a vault, $9,420 on average. 5 years before that, you're looking at something like $8,775. So again, not much of a change. Now, the NFDA calculates the national median cost of a funeral with ceremony by totaling the cost of the basic stuff, right? The median cost, again, doesn't include the price of interment in a cemetery, a monument marker cost, or other miscellaneous cash charges. And that went to, and this is with cremation. So before it was with burial, casket burial. This now is with cremation. Some of the charges remain the same. What then changes is the cremation casket. So you have the non-declinable basic fees, $2,300. The transfer of remains, $350. The embalming, $750. The prep work, $275. Use of facilities for viewing at $450, and for the funeral ceremony, $515. The service car remaining $150. Printed materials $183. Now you have the cremation fee, where if the firm uses a third party, that's about $368, right? So about $370, using a round figure. And then you have the cremation casket, which is $1,310, $1,310. And then you toss into that an urn for $295. So basically, the cost of a funeral with viewing and cremation, $6,970. There you have it. Now, other national median costs reported in the survey for 2021 include the rental casket being $995, a metal burial casket $2,500, a wood burial casket $3,000, a green burial casket $1,500. Now, why the vast difference in prices, I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. Your cremation casket costs about $1,310. Your alternative cremation container costs $150. A vault $1,572. An urn $295. Now, one of the things that is interesting is, because cost of goods and services vary by region, you have some factors that contribute to the final determination of how an individual funeral home prices its goods and its services, including the firm's business philosophy and the market in which it operates. So we have the median cost of an adult funeral with viewing and ceremony, followed by burial, and then you have by cremation, right? In the New England area, so that's up there by Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, up that side, $7,881. For the cremation, $7,069. Then in the New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania area, the Middle Atlantic area, the cost is roughly $8,093 for the service and burial, and $7,463 with the service and cremation. Down towards that southern Atlantic part of the United States, which is where, in the area that I am, where you have Florida, Georgia, North and South Carolinas, Virginia, down that side, you have $7,800 for your service with burial, and $7,070 for your service with by cremation. Hey John, how you doing? What do you say? Just put me in a nice smelling glad bag and throw me in the ocean. Please and thanks, right? But all right, here's the thing, Jen. I guess by law, certain things need to be done, right? So I understand you want to save your family that expense, but these are some of the expenses that, depending on where you are in the United States, your family could end up paying. So, so far we have had $7,800 versus $7,000, 7,100 cremation, and 8,100 using round figures, 8,100 burial versus 7,500 cremation. In here in the southern states, southern Atlantic states, the 7,800 for burial and 7,000 for 7,100 for cremation. What's that? Let me see. Let me see this message here. Change the bag to biodegradable. Right. So you don't want to be contaminating the ocean any more than it already is. So you want your glad bag to be biodegradable. I got you. I got you. Since you put that in writing, it is now official. All right. So we just need a notary to sign off on that, and it's a done deal. Any notaries tuning in right now, just go ahead and sign off on Janice's wishes on Facebook for me, please. All right, so continuing here, the east, south, central area of the United States, the Kentucky, Alabama, Tennessee, around that area, $7,200 for burial ceremony, funeral ceremony with burial, 6,300 for cremation. So far, this is the cheapest going on. We're looking at, if you're just tuning in, we're looking at the cost of dying, not the cost of living. Tonight on Community and Finance, we're looking at the cost of dying in the west, south central United States, Arizona, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana. 7,300 for ceremony and burial, 6,400 for cremation. In the east, north central, where you have Illinois and Indiana, Ohio and Wisconsin, 7,800 for burial, 6,900, well, call it 7,000 for cremation. In the west, north central, around the Kansas, North Dakota, South Dakota area, Nebraska over that side, you have 8,500 for the funeral service with burial, 7,500 for cremation. In the mountain area, Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, Wyoming, you have 6,800 for ceremony with burial, 5,600 with, or 5,700, 5,694. So 5,700 using rounding it off for cremation. So overall, this has been the cheapest so far in the mountain area. $6,000. Sorry, $5,600 for cremation, right? And 6,800 or 6,900 for ceremony with burial. So if you're in the Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, in that area over there, then it won't cost your family as much for saying their final goodbyes. In the Pacific area, California, Hawaii, Oregon, Washington State, up that side, you have 7,200 for service with burial, 6,000 for service with cremation. So that kind of gives you an idea of you have an interesting cost of living is pretty much high everywhere, but this gives you an idea of your cost of dying. So we're not looking at the cost of living tonight. We're looking at the cost of dying. And so the NFDA went about and did this survey to give an idea of what it costs to die in the United States right now. And these were their results. Not something, like I said, not something that typically you'll end up discussing, but when you stop and think about it, why aren't we having these discussions? Why aren't we making these preparations on a regular? So I guess some things are just too taboo for people to talk about, but need to be talked about because it's a part of life, literally a part of life, this death thing. So if you're just tuning in, we're going to take a quick little break. We're talking about the cost of dying on Community and Finance Night right here on the Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew. And we're about to say goodbye to those locked in on Facebook Live and on Clubhouse. Do use the link that is in the comments and the description. It is kevinstew.com. Come on over for the remainder of the broadcast. Come join in the discussion with me. Jump into the stew pot. You don't have to register. Blessings, Cujo. Much love to you, bro. And the Queen. Happy Valentine's to you. But I know with you, Valentine's is every day. So, but you know, there are people that are celebrating. So let's give it, yeah. Jan, I didn't even extend your happy Valentine's to you, my dear. So come on over, kevinstew.com. Like I said, you don't need to register. You don't need to offer up your firstborn or give a blood sacrifice or an internal organ. You just go to kevinstew.com and boom, you're there. You don't need to you can remain anonymous. You don't need to give your name. It's all good. Free, easy interaction. kevinstew.com. Be interactive with us there. If you want to tune in, listen in by tune in, and it doesn't work for your device, doesn't work for watching live on kevinstew.com, which is you can do too if you didn't know. Just click on the little play button right there. It plays right there for you. All right. Those of you who can't tune in and got to wait until the recording is uploaded, well, you have two options. You have the video archive and you have the podcast. The video archive gives you the whole broadcast, and the podcast gives you just the talking points. So those are all available on kevinstew.com. Just go there and it's all right there in front of you. Do remember to capitalize on the 2-for-1 special that is going on right now. As soon as you go on kevinstew.com, you'll see it right there at the top of the page. It is a Mary Kay pink clay mask that is available 2-for-1. So for less than $20, you can basically get yourself not one, but two clay masks. And I used one on Saturday, doing a pampering session. I used one Saturday night. Really cool. In fact, I have it right here. See? Can you see that? The lighting is bad, right? Lighting is kind of funny. There. There we go. Anyway, this is what it is, and this little tube lasts about 3 months. So you get one of these babies here. You jump on. The 2-for-1 special ends tomorrow, the 15th of February. So do jump on, click on the link, just click on the image. It takes you straight to where you can purchase. Make the purchase. All you need to do is put one in the basket. Well, you can put the two in the basket, either way. As long as you do it before you make your purchase before the end of the 15th of February. So do it on the 15th of February. And you go ahead, you put in your two, one of them gets discounted. That's how it goes, right? As simple as that. And it gets shipped off to you, or I deliver it, depending on where you are. So nice and easy, right? I thought so too. All right, we're gonna take a quick little break. When we come back, we talk some more. We're looking at the cost of death right here. Community and Finance, kevinstew.com, and affiliates. Of course, NIE Radio, Island Worldwide, One Harmony Radio, the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com, the PEMGTV.com, Clubhouse. Much love to you, leaving you guys. Facebook, much love, leaving you guys right now. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we talk some more. All right? Come on over. Let's have some fun together. Yeah, it kind of sounds weird talking about the cost of dying and having fun. But in all things, just like you give thanks, in all things, have fun. Do it with a smile. All right. We'll be right back.
Pulsey Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulsey Media Group.
Imagine having our own Caribbean Center.
Imagine a museum highlighting our history and the contributions of Caribbean people to the world.
Imagine being able to visit and learn about the islands we call home.
In a place where our kids can see and feel their cultural heritage. You can make this vision come to life.
Help us create this first of its kind space
that all Caribbean people can be proud of. Your contribution to Island Space Caribbean Museum will help this dream come true.
Visit islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe.
Visit islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe.
Visit islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe and donate today.
Reggae Global Entertainment presents the brand new self-titled album from Yishka with 9 great songs. Oh Baby Let Me Love You. Be Grateful for Life.
Be grateful for life.
Shake You Down.
Girl, I wanna shake you
What else can I do?
What else can I do?
Babe, Come Over.
Baby, come over.
My. It's our time.
It's our time. You know I love you.
For your love.
For your love. I would do anything.
I'm Falling.
I'm falling. In love again.
Yishka. 9 great songs. Available on all streaming platforms.
You sure look good tonight.
Available now.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school, I learned that I'm ugly and useless. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. In history, I learned that I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends. In English, I learned that I make people sick. And at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me.
In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. And in math, I learned that I'm trash.
The only thing I didn't learn in school today...
The only thing I didn't learn today...
The only thing I didn't learn...
is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Hey, I'm representing for DJ Kevin Stew, working on the night shift radio show. Won't go changing like the weather, just to please the devil never. Will DJ Kevin Stew sell his soul? That's a word and honor. It's Christine representing word and honor. Celestia DJ Kevin Stew. Zion, fire burn there. Zion, singing again. Oh, yeah, okay. With the Most High as my keeper, I trample all backbiter. 'Cause I was born an overcomer, so I no fear no warmonger. Trample them careless whisper, step over all teeth of plunder. I am here for today and tomorrow, I know I will live forever. Sin, joy wouldn't feel so sweet if it wasn't for pain. No, sunshine wouldn't be essential if it wasn't for rain. No, joy wouldn't feel so sweet if it wasn't for pain. No, the sunshine would be essential if it wasn't for rain. You have to know how to overcome life ups and downs. Oh, morning and noon, with nature you have to keep in tune. Life disappointments have its reason, yeah. Just like the tree, bring forth fruits in its season. Sometimes the win, sometimes the lose. But don't cry, as long as there's another day. There's always a brighter way, I think. Joy wouldn't feel so sweet if it wasn't for pain. No, sunshine wouldn't be essential if it wasn't for rain. No, joy wouldn't feel so sweet if it wasn't for pain. No, the sunshine wouldn't be essential if it wasn't for rain. I play my part with the Most High in my heart. Stepping into the light, positively out of the dark, yeah. Eden shall fade like the wind beneath the trap. Good over evil, and no negativity must get cut out. Born to live forever with joy. In my heart I say, shine. Oh, I will reign forever and I will sing. Joy wouldn't feel so sweet if it wasn't for pain. No, the sunshine wouldn't be essential if it wasn't for rain. No, joy wouldn't feel so sweet if it wasn't for pain. No, the sunshine wouldn't be essential if it wasn't for rain. Oh.
Welcome back to the broadcast. The sound of Crescenti. Track is called Joy. And such truth in the lyrics. Joy wouldn't feel so sweet if it wasn't for pain. And you wouldn't enjoy the sunshine if it wasn't for the rain. I want to say thank you to my segment sponsor, Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands. Much love to you, Althea. Remember, she comes to you operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade and South Palm Beach counties.
it wasn't for rain.
Give her a call, 954-655-9000, or email her at fairlater@att.net. Set up your appointment today. She brings her table, her oils, and over 20 years massage therapy experience.
Eden shall say, like the wind.
Thank you, Althea.
Good over evil, I know
If you're just tuning in,
must get better.
the topic tonight, the cost of dying.
Live forever with Jah. In my hands I say,
Now, an interesting thing here is, according to tincture.io, there's a hidden cost of dying in America. And this is a little bit of an older article done back in 2019. And Kendra Madsen, that's Madsen, writes and says, many of us figure the cost of living into our budget automatically, accounting for expenses like grocery, housing, healthcare. These are as part of our daily existence. One of the things we often underestimate, however, is what it costs to die in the United States. Now, the National Bureau of Economic Research indicates the average out-of-pocket for end-of-life obligations is $11,618 in the last year of life. But those expenditures can come from a variety of sources. Our deaths can become complicated not just by unexpected healthcare costs, but also medication, care facilities, legal expenses, and funeral and burial expenses. Now, legal expenses is one of those things that we often overlook also. But we go on. As they age, many older adults begin to prepare both financially and emotionally for what they might leave behind. Anxious not to burden loved ones with additional stress during a difficult time. But unlike birth, the act of dying can come suddenly and without warning, catching families financially unprepared for the final expenses. If you're looking to set aside a nest egg to address final expenses for yourself or terminally ill loved one, it helps to be aware of precisely what costs you can expect and what options and support you'll have at each stage of the journey. When we refer to end-of-life care, what we're talking about is healthcare measures, excuse me, to address illness in the final years, months, or days of life. Sometimes this will involve aggressive treatments that seek to cure a disease, ailment, or injury. Other situations will focus on minimizing pain when treatment options have been exhausted. The costs associated with more substantive care are naturally higher than those that focus on solutions that provide comfort. There are some types of care and the average costs associated with each, and we're going to run through them real quick. You have hospital care. Sometimes end of life care may come about suddenly and due to an unexpected illness or injury. Now, while 7 out of 10 Americans say they would prefer to die at home, only about 25% of them actually do. Those who die in a hospital rack up an average cost of about $32,000, $32,379 if you want to put in all the figures, but round about $32,000. And this is just in the last month of life alone in a hospital, which is real easy to do. Can I tell you? Real easy. Many deaths occur in intensive care units or ICUs, where charges for patients benefiting from cutting-edge procedures and advanced equipment can reach as much as $10,000 per day. So you're talking on average, someone in ICU living, if they're going to be $30,000, talking about less than a week in ICU. Then you have palliative care. Now, this type of care can continue alongside traditional health care right up until life-saving measures conclude. Palliative care focuses on emotional support, stress relief, and assistance alleviating symptoms such as with an eye on improving overall quality of life. Studies show this type of care can reduce other medical expenses involved in end-of-life care, including medication. Hospitals reported a savings of as much as $3,237 per patient during a hospital stay compared with those hospital patients who did not receive palliative care. That's interesting. Savings of $3,200 when you have an overall cost of about $32,000, so about 10%. That's interesting. Then you have what most of us hear about all the time, hospice care. We don't really hear about palliative care. We hear about hospice care. And once treatment for a terminal illness has concluded and options are exhausted, then you get into hospice care. That is usually where it goes next. Now, this can take place at home or in a care facility. And the goal of this kind of treatment is to manage pain, not prolong life. In some cases, you might hear that it may be to help to the transition along smoother. Yeah? Not saying that anybody is helping you to die. Just saying it is considered a smoother transition. In 2016, 1.4 million Medicare beneficiaries spent some amount of time in hospice care with an average cost of about $11,800 per patient. The good news is that for many end-of-life healthcare expenses, there are coverage options. And not only does private insurance front at least some of the costs associated with hospital care, but also once a terminal diagnosis is made, Medicare and Medicaid cover most of the expenses related to hospice care. About 85% of all end-of-life expenses are covered by some combination of government entities, private insurance, or charitable organizations. In terms of end-of-life healthcare expenses, studies show the most cost-effective option is to die at home. While it is not always an option available to every patient, it costs an average of about $4,760 a month of care in a home environment. Then you have your legal expenses. Now, this particular category is a hidden expenditure that slips through the cracks of many budgets. The legal documentation required to produce a will, specify appropriate end-of-life measures, assign power of attorney, and stipulate burial, cremation, or other arrangements is not for the faint of heart or light of wallet. While some online tools can help, it's the sort of critical work best undertaken when in control of your full mental faculties and reviewed by a professional. This is where an attorney would come in handy. And now you're talking about legal fees, right? And attorney fees per hour they're charging. All right. It's also essential to make sure your family and the medical team are aware of any end-of-life directives. Preparing the information up front will save you and your family from unwanted hassles or mistakes when you need medical care. Then you have your funeral and burial costs, and we went through that extensively in the first period, or the first segment of the broadcast. While they're the last stop in terms of end-of-life expenses, funeral and burial costs may not be the least of your worries. The National Funeral Directors Association estimates a median funeral cost, such as viewing expenses and services, cremation, all these, round about the $7,400 mark. Now, while cremation is generally less expensive than burials, the Consumer Price Index indicates that over the last 30 years, all funeral expenses have risen more than 200%. What we do know is that between 2016 and 2021, it has gone up only about 13% on average. So 30 years, 200%. That the biggest part of that jump must have been before the last 6 years. One way many older adults have chosen to offset funeral costs is to purchase burial or final expense insurance, or to set aside a stipulated amount specifically for those expenses. If you're concerned about family or loved ones following your instructions for burial, well, you can specify them as part of your estate planning. But make sure to document them elsewhere as well as discuss them frequently with your family and close friends. End of life decisions are difficult, and they're often plagued with emotional landmines that make even simple choices complicated. Being armed with information about costs can help you and your loved ones to make the best, most compassionate decisions for your family. It can also ultimately save you money. And in this case, knowledge isn't only power. It's peace of mind that comes with knowing that you won't leave financial burdens behind. You see how important just a little bit of knowledge is? It's so important that even after your transition, that little bit of knowledge will live on and take care of whatever your family needs to be taken care of. Just that little bit of knowledge before you transition. Awesome, isn't it? The power of knowledge. We're going to take another break quickly and come back and take care of the third and final segment. Speaking segment of community and finance, because after this segment we have musical therapy. So call your friends, tell your friends, we're still here. Community and finance night, more of a financial community service where we're looking at the cost of dying. We'll be back after these few messages. Don't go anywhere, and if you do, come back with a friend. We'll be right back. Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com. Your links to worship and praise.
Making great music is one thing, sharing it with the world, that's another. Let the professionals at Reggae Global Entertainment help you to another level. Specializing in artist management, booking, public relations and marketing, and promotion, Reggae Global Entertainment can help you with event planning, websites, photography, and video production, press releases, legal services, and graphic design. They can even help you with music production, so you can get the sound that you want every time. Call Reggae Global Entertainment at 954-804-8199. That's 804-8199. Or visit them online at reggaeglobalentertainment.com.
When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse eMedia Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse eMedia Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulseemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse eMedia Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
Yes. Akar Mantino, I'm making notes right now. You are locked in to DJ Kevin Stew on the night shift.
Girl, I will never change this. Real love, baby, I could never fake this. Oh, girl, your smile is contagious. Lost a lot of things, but I'm glad that I found you. I found you. It don't really matter if it's winter, summer, spring, or fall. If I gotta go against the world for you, I risk it all. I hope you know what you mean to me. When you're with me, I feel complete. I'd give up everything before I let you go. As long as you're happy, seeing you happy, that makes me happy. 'Cause you mean the world to me. As long as I'm living, my only mission is keeping you happy. You happy. I just want you all for me. Whenever you call for me, you know that I'll be on my way up. No matter what time of day, I just want you to understand me. Oh yeah, nothing else comes before you. It don't really matter if it's winter, summer, spring, or fall. If I gotta go against the world for you, I risk it all. I hope you know what you mean to me. When you're with me, I feel complete. I'd give up everything before I let you go. As long as you're happy, seeing you happy.
New music from Deville. The track is called Happy.
It's keeping you happy.
I want to welcome you back to the broadcast. It's Community and Finance Night right here on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew.
Whenever you call for me,
Much love to the affiliates all over the globe on Harmony Radio over there in the UK, NIE in New Jersey, Island Worldwide in New York, Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com in South Florida, PEMGTV.com, WGLRO, All Up Radio, Dusic Media Groups out of Texas.
if I gotta go against the world for you.
Much love to you all. Thank you to all the podcast platforms that make the podcast available. Just about everywhere you can catch a podcast, it is available to you. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. And you can watch the rebroadcast and on YouTube. Everything is available when you go to kevinstew.com. You don't need to go anywhere else. You want to listen to the podcast? Go to kevinstew.com. You want to watch the rebroadcast? Go to kevinstew.com. Real easy. Thanks once again to my segment sponsor, Reggae Global Entertainment. They'll act as your booking agent, handle your business registration, legal service referrals, music production, marketing and promotion, and so much more. Check them out, reggaeglobal.com. And see if they can provide a service that you need. Contact them and said the Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew is where I heard about you. Here's what I need. I need it to make me happy. Like Daville.
I hope you know what you mean to me. When you're with me, I feel complete. I'd give up everything before I let you go. As long as
so, as we're talking about it, the cost of dying. You ever wonder what the cost is around the world? Because in the United States, we went through the average cost here in the United States, right? But what about elsewhere? What do you think the cost of dying is? The average cost of dying across the world is around 10% of the average individual salary. But there are certain countries which seem to far exceed this. According to sunlife.co.uk, emphasizing why taking precautions such as life insurance and funeral planning, why these things are so critical. Now, perhaps unsurprisingly, as it is often noted for its expensive economy, Japan comes out as the most expensive place on the planet to die. Yep, most expensive country on the planet today is Japan. And the cost of burial and cremation in the country is more than 2/3 of the average salary. It's about 68.3%. Crazy. Now, interestingly, it hasn't always been expensive to die in this part of the world. Traditionally, in Japan, Buddhists up to the 19th century would partake in self-mummification, which required the monk to remove all fat from the body around 3,000 days ahead of their death. That's because they knew they were gonna die? How does that go exactly? Puzzled. But essentially, the monks would starve themselves to death. Well, I guess that way you know you're gonna die. Before heading into a stone room, whereby they would stop consuming anything at all and dehydrate their body into preserved mummies. Slightly below Japan's vast expanse today is China, which costs on average just below half of the annual salary to pass away. However, it seems there are cheaper ways to die in China. In the autonomous region of China, Tibet, that being Tibet, many Tibetan monks today still choose a traditional Buddhist method of burial, whereby corpses are seen as nothing more than an empty vessel and will leave the bodies out in the mountains to be eaten by passing wildlife. Well, talk about the circle of life. Interesting, isn't it? So nowhere, no matter where you live in the world, really, we are going to die, and that's something that we just have to understand. You know, we just have to come to terms with it. We're gonna die. So in the Tibetan monks, when they die, they decide that they're going to return to the cycle of life by way of being eaten. Since it's an empty vessel, it might as well just discard it, right? Germany is the most expensive European country to die in, but it sits far below the cost of the more expensive Asian countries, being China and Japan, at only 16% cost of the annual average salary. Not everywhere in Asia is expensive to die, though. Don't get it twisted. With the cost of dying in India, a mere 2% of an average salary. Now, there are many ways to honor the dead in Indian Hindu culture. A more unusual and now outdated one, of which is sati. This practice saw a widowed woman lay with her dead husband to be burned alive alongside him. Now, me, if I were a woman married to a man who died, upon his deathbed would be the point where we have a divorce, if that is the culture that I live in. No, it's not happening. Why? Why? For what reason? For why? The practice is now illegal, and rightly so, thank goodness. But similar rituals have been seen across multiple cultures and civilizations for generations. And I guess if you grow up in it, it's kind of expected, I guess, and not seen as that far-fetched as I would see it growing up in the West. But the UK sits as the 6th most expensive place in the world to die, at 13% the average salary. While geographically different, there are two countries similar to the UK sitting at 13%, being South Africa and the Netherlands. In South African culture, it is normal for all pictures, mirrors, and reflective surfaces to be turned around during the grieving period. And it is custom for immediate family not to speak during the funeral. Isn't that interesting? Now, at a moment like this, it would be good to talk to someone that is living that African culture, for them to say directly, you know, this is how it goes. This is what it is. Death practices in the Netherlands are more similar to that of in the UK. Although it is traditional to have their ritual on the 6th day after their death, regardless of whether burial or cremation is chosen. And there is some data that was compiled, some raw data. The full list of countries, the average salary, and the percentage of the cost of dying. Let me see. We can run through this real quick. So at the and this is measured in both the local currency of the country and the British pound, because this is a British article. Now Japan again starts it off with 3 million yen, which is about 22,320 pounds. And if I'm not mistaken, it's about $1 and change as the exchange rate to the US. So we're gonna see how much it costs in the US in just a little bit as we go down this list. But here we have 3 million yen being 22,320 pounds as your average cost. In China, you had 37,375 yuan, which is roughly 4,244 pounds. In Germany, you have it's 6,880 euros, around about 6,246 yen. Pounds. Then you have South Africa, 26,875 South African rand, which is 1,250 euro. So this isn't in order per se. I guess I could take you in order. I have another chart here which takes you in order. Average cost of dying worldwide chart. You have, so let me hit you up in the order that it is. Japan tops the list, then followed by Germany at 6,246 pounds. Then the US at 5,858 pounds. Those are the top three. Now, following that, you have the Netherlands at 5,440 pounds, the UK at 4,417. Then China follows closely behind the UK at 4,244 pounds, Ireland at 4,102 pounds, New Zealand at 3,915, Belgium 3,627. France follows Belgium at 35.41. Then you have Finland. Hiva Huamenta to you all over there in Finland. 3,173 pounds. Australia at 3,110 pounds. Canada follows them at 2,970 pounds. Canada is what, a whole, it costs probably half as much to die in Canada as it does in the United States. I should look at their cost of living too. We have a there's a chart for that too. So Austria follows Canada. Then you have Spain, Norway, Portugal, Sweden, Italy, Slovenia, South Africa, Croatia, Denmark, Hungary, Estonia, Czech Republic, and now we're getting down to the hundreds in the pound. So it's because Denmark started off in the hundreds, 973 pounds. So Czech Republic, Slovakia, Mexico is real cheap to die in Mexico, 673 pounds. Argentina, Poland, and Colombia. Now, closing out, so the least expensive places to die in the world, you have Brazil at 358 pounds, Russia at 236 pounds, and India at 96 pounds. That's how much it costs, to the cost of dying. Now, the average cost, percentage cost of salary to die is, you have Japan at 68.3%, China just under half at 45.4%, and Germany, these being your top three, at 16.4%. The bottom three, as it relates to the average cost of salary today, you have Denmark at 2.4%, Poland at 2.3%, and Russia at 1.3%. Interestingly enough, as it is the cheapest place to die in the world, India sits at the fourth from the bottom at 2.4% at the percentage cost of salary. 2.4% the cost on average. All right. So your most expensive countries: China, Japan, China, Germany, least expensive, Russia, Poland, Denmark, as per the cost of the percentage cost of dying. And I thought that was really interesting information to come across, and figured it would be cool to share it with everyone. So as you think about where you live, as much as we talk about trying to live healthy lives, as we often promote on Healthy Love, which is tomorrow night's broadcast, we have to take into consideration what it will cost to die. And it is not a bad consideration to have either, because it helps everyone. It helps the ones that we leave behind after we transition, to help them to pick up the pieces, to clean up after us as they lay us in our final resting place, whichever it may be, whether it's in an urn, on some piece of furniture inside our homes, or buried in the ground, or ashes sprinkled out at sea, whatever the process is. And however it is that your remains are vesseled, casket or urn, there's a cost that's associated with it. And these are things that we need to take into consideration as we go through life. as we live, we should be considering our death, because we never know when it's gonna come, really. No man knows the day nor the hour. So why not prepare? What do you have to lose? Set aside a little thing for that final day when the sun sets not to rise anymore for you. But for those that you leave behind, they still have to toil the land that you have passed on from. And taking care of your final expenses is something that they are left with. So why not put something in place for them to have it a little bit easier? And then in turn teach them by way of your example what to do for those that they leave behind. These are things to consider in real life as we continue to live one more day. The sound of Marty Dread kicking off our musical therapy segment.
Last night I had a crazy dream.
This is Marty Dread's rendition of One More Day featuring Sly and Robbie.
For me, it could be for anything.
And we might remember one of the Rhythm Twins transitioned just last year.
For one more day with you.
If we could just have one more day.
One day, one more time, one more sunset, baby, I'd be satisfied.
I want to thank McNeil Trucking for taking care of the musical therapy experience.
Leave me wishing still for one more day.
Thanks to Reggae Global Entertainment for sponsoring this previous segment.
The thing I do is pray for time to crawl. Unplug the telephone, turn the TV off. I'd hold you every second, say a million I love yous. That's what I do with one more day with you. One more day, one more time, one more sunset, baby, I'd be satisfied. But then again, I know what it would do. Leave me wishing still for one more day with you. Just for me, it could be for anything. I didn't ask for money or a mansion in Malibu. I simply wished for one more day with you. One more day, one more time, one more sunset, baby, I'd be satisfied. But then again, I know what it would do. Leave me wishing still for one more day with you.
This is new music from Empress Unique. It's I'll always love you.
I gave you life, you brought me joy. I love you more than you ever know. I live for you, I'll let you go. I'll never let you go. Never let you go. In my heart forever. I'll never let you go. Never let you go. I'll never let you go. Never let you go. You know that I do. Yeah. I'll always love you. You know that I do. Yeah. I'll always love you. All that I can now will do for you. The rest of your journey is up to you. Whatever you have to face as you go on, my love will be a shelter from the storm. In my heart forever, I'll never let you go. Never let you go. I'll never let you go. Never let you go. In my heart forever, I'll never let you go. Never let you go. I'll never let you go. Never let you go. You know that I do, yeah. I'll always love you. You know that I do, yeah. I'll always love you.
You are the melody to my soul, my favorite chord on my guitar.
This is the sound of Kavan.
You're my warmth on a cold night.
It's called You Make Me Right.
Appreciation for your love.
As we bounce through this musical therapy segment,
Woman, you make me strong. You light up my life. Your voice
on this day where many celebrate love, I celebrate love every day.
you make me right. For you give me every day. The question is, you make me right. I wanna thank you every day. In every way. The rocky road we feels fine. Girl, I'm well because I know you're mine. Give me your smile is everything. Baby, you're the beat that makes my heart. You make my heart sing. Cause maybe I don't say enough. Woman, you make me strong. You light up my life. And your voice is my song. And maybe I don't show enough. But you taught me love. You showed me love. Ooh, you make me right. You make me right. Oh, you give me every day. The questions asked. You make me right. I wanna thank you each and every day. I go jour passé partir merci. I go jour passé partir moi-même.
Yeah, Cujo, for real. Empress Unique has another winner on her hands.
You make me right. For when you give me every day, the questions I
This is the sound of Balaguero. Track called Eres.
Provoca cosas buenas. Eres quien me quita todas las penas. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sé que no necesito llenarte de flores. Para que llenes mis días de colores. Solo necesito que tú me acalores. Y así sé que se irán todos mis temores. Eres que me provoca cosas buenas. Eres que me quita todas las penas. Eres que me provoca cosas buenas. Eres que me quita todas las penas. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Y si por ti yo tuviera que apostar, lo daría todo y más sin pensar, porque eres lo mejor que me podía pasar. Créeme que no te dejaría escapar. Eres que me provoca cosas buenas. Eres que me quita todas las penas. Eres que me provoca cosas buenas.
It's because we share love and show love in any language around here. It doesn't have to be English. We do it in Espanol. And if you parlez-vous français, parlez créole. Yeah, we do it there too. Bouncing through musical therapy. Closing out this community and finance night right here on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. This is on Ian Sweetness. His rendition of Willow Tree.
Don't spare your tears.
make love, it feels like we're in heaven. Yeah.
It came out today. Available everywhere. The EP is called This Valentine. He goes by the name Neri.
When the rain is falling on the outside and I have you beside me.
This one is called The Love Song.
Feels so good when you put your wings around me, 'cause you're an angel in disguise. Yes, my main addiction is you. The only prescription is you, yeah. Prescribe sweet loving for me every day. 'Cause when we make love, it feels like we're in heaven. Yes, when we make sweet love, oh yeah, it feels like we're in heaven. Woo, woo, woo. Said I know that heaven must be missing an angel, 'cause you are right here with me, here with me. Said I know that heaven must be missing an angel, 'cause you right here with me. Oh, Empress, I love it when you squeeze me. I put your arms around me and tell me that you love me and you care for me. And with me you want to build a family. And this thing I know if nor maybe, 'cause with me you want to build a family. Put it down. Embrace divine, I'm glad that you are mine. You belong to no one else but me, yeah. And it feels so good, so good. You take the troubles away, you take my pain away. With you I feel like I can move mountains. 'Cause when we make love, it feels like we're in heaven. Yes. When we make sweet love, oh yeah, it feels like we're in heaven.
Since I went my way, all I've been seeing are some rainy days.
This is the sound of Kashif Lindo.
No sunshine.
From his album Love On.
Proud to say I hurt you, girl. Now
This track is called See You in Your Arms.
oh yeah. And I know you might not want to see me right now, but I can't hold back no longer. This love's growing stronger. Girl, I really gotta tell you,
Yeah, Cujo, that's gospel.
I'll catch a flight in your own, baby.
Much respect, much love.
Girl, oh baby, I really gotta tell you, come home tonight. I'll catch a flight in your own, baby. I'll do it right. See you later. Tell you now what I'll do later. Sure there's a sunshine, I'm gonna be a better man. Oh yes. And after all the tears, love and happiness will be with you year after year. And I know you're gonna be so surprised when you see the man I've become. No longer the one and all the love I save for you, girl. I really gotta tell you, coming home tonight. I'll catch a flight, see you on, baby. I'll make it right, girl. Oh baby, I really gotta tell you, coming home tonight. I'll catch a flight, see you on, baby. I'll do it right.
Compliments to you and the way
The one and only Ed Robinson.
Sometimes I wonder, is it for
A track called All My Life.
dreamer, or I'm just hypnotized.
From the bedroom mood rhythm.
The moment I laid my eyes on you, I just knew you were the one for me.
Do remember, you can catch Ed Robinson and the rest of the RG squad, the Reggae Global squad and RG Squad Live. Yeah, if you haven't subscribed to it yet, go check it out on YouTube. Yup, RG Squad Live. Getting up close and personal with the Reggae Global squad. Might surprise you who you see in there.
Pretty baby, most of our friends think I'm no good for you. They can't believe it's true. I'm with you. Yeah. What they don't know is the way I feel about you, and the way that you're loving me too. We're right here. All my life, now that I found you, baby, will you stay for life? We're right here, girl. All my life, won't you please stay with me?
Abracadabra, form of a better rule.
This here is Lee Kelly.
Add a little candlelight in the scent of your sweet perfume.
His chart-topping hit, Magic.
Focus, now you're in the cute little dress that I like. Don't lose focus of what I'm about to show you tonight. I can do magic. Whoa, one snap of a finger, girl, I perform a trick on you. Anything you want me to do.
Anything you want me to do, girl, I can do some magic.
All you gotta do is dim the lights. I perform a trick or two, baby. Cause I can do magic. I ain't no psychic, but I know just what you need, girl. You don't have to write it. Just looking at your body, I can't read, yeah. You're giving me the eye, and it's making me want you better. Turn around and guess what's in my hand? One snap of a finger, girl, I'll perform a trick on you. Anything you want me to do, yeah. Magic, all you gotta do is in the light, baby. I can do magic. I make your home disappear. Out of nowhere, let the room appear. It's in the notes, you and me. Baby girl, still believe. See what I'm about to do. This is something you should
Come to loving me, having a figure all night. Real type of love for make my woman satisfied. Feel like you're touching the sky.
This is the sound of Cesar.
Birds of a feather when together we lay in. She says she like it better when I'm out.
It's called Love Machine.
Tonight we're gonna do things different, yeah. Will you be my love machine? Will you make love to me? Girl, I wanna touch your butt. Yeah, let you show me something. Will you be my fantasy? And give me what I need. Will you be my love machine?
DJ Kevin Stew, all manners and respect is due, cause you are carry the music and the culture right through. Big up yourself, Cesar says so. Bless.
Yeah. Much love, Cesar.
Whoa. Cesar. Yeah. Well, when it come to money, men have so much, but me alright. Come to loving me, having a figure all night. Real type of touching the sky, she fly high like birds of a feather. When together we lay. She says she like it better when I'm holding the reins. Well, tonight we're gonna do things different. Yeah, will you be my love machine? Will you make love to me? Girl, I wanna touch your butt. Yeah, let you show me something. Will you be my fantasy and give me what I need? Will you be my love machine? Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, well, every night, girl, I give my love to you. So tonight, girl, I wanna try something new. You always whisper in my ear and tell me that you want me. Yeah, yeah. Well, tonight I hope you really want me enough to be my love machine. Will you make love to me? Girl, I wanna touch your buttons. Yeah, let you show me something. So be my fantasy and give me what I need. Won't you be my love machine? Oh yeah, oh yeah. See yeah. Me want to turn you on, girl, and watch you boot and get you warm, girl, like a love computer. Me want to put me password, log on and enter, and insert the tab where it really meant for. You get the information from off the hard disk, a stimulation, and then everything is. But can we do it like this? Will you be my love machine? Will you make love to me? Girl, I wanna touch your body. Yeah, let you show me something. Girl, be my fantasy and give me what I need. Won't you be my love machine?
This is Joanna Marie, and it's all about DJ Kevin Stew on the night shift. You feel for some stew? Check out Kevin Stew.
Walks in and suddenly a hero.
The sound of Ed Robinson working out with Joanna Marie.
My hopes begin to rise.
Their rendition of Suddenly.
Look at me, can't you tell? I'd be so thrilled to see the message in your eyes.
You make it seem I'm so close to my dream, and suddenly it's all there.
Suddenly, the wheels are in motion, and I'm ready to say, adios. Suddenly, I don't need the answers, 'cause I'm ready to take all my chances with you.
How can I feel you're all that matters when I rely on everything you say?
I take it, that's no illusion. Shatter if you dare to say what you should say.
You make it seem I'm so close to my dream, and suddenly it's all there.
Suddenly, the wheels are in motion, and I'm ready to say, adios. Suddenly, I don't need the answers, 'cause I'm ready to take all my chances with you.
Longing to spend every moment of the day
You know what, Cujo, that is a bit of a crisis. Some people cannot afford insurance. Their loved ones pass on, leaving them with a burden. Come on, it's rough. Especially when it happens suddenly. This is how we bounce on out of here tonight. The sound of Neri. The track is called Promise. The EP is called This Valentine. It's available today.
No mountain too high. Baby, just for you I will try.
It's Nerry.
If I could bring the moon to you, I would give it to you. Promise I will always be true. Promise I
Once again, thank you to McNeil Trucking for sponsoring this segment of the broadcast. It's a musical therapy segment. With McNeil Trucking, you're in good hands. They're licensed and insured movers. Let's give them a call, 954-406-9740. Tell them you heard about them on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. And thank you to my affiliates, One Harmony Radio over there in the UK, Island Worldwide in New York, NIE over there in New Jersey, the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com in South Florida, along with PEMGTV.com. Out of Texas, WGLRO, Oliwap Radio, Dusik Media Groups, much love to you. And thank you each and every one for tuning in. Thank you for the support. As we close out tonight, if you can, you know, make sure you make preparations for when you pass on. Do look out for members of your community also. Remember, your community is not just a development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. So those that you pass on the bus, the plane, the boat, or the train, whether you walk, ride, or drive, these are members of your community. Do something good for one of them today, because you never know who's going to do something good for you tomorrow. My name is DJ Kevin Stewart, so I like to do it to you, for you, and with you every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern. I'm not one for promises, because I grew up hearing that our promises are comfort to a fool, but we work with it still. The track is called Promise by Neri on the EP This Valentine. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world, from right here in South Florida. I bid you all a good night. Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.